Hello, viewers. Welcome to Hila-P Sports and Entertainment TV. Yes, this is a midweek review. We are back again, and we'll be discussing about what really played out right there in the five top European leagues. France football is concerned. CBN. Yeah, welcome to the show. We'll be
Thank you
discussing
very
about
much.
at least we'll start with Premier League. What played out? I think we'll be fast about that. Aston Villa dealt with Arsenal last weekend in the early kickoff. The Arsenal lost that game by 2 goals to 1. CBN, yeah, it was expected though, because we expected Aston Villa to. Chelsea was the one we expected to give Arsenal this kind of hit, but it was unfortunate that Caicedo received the red card and left the pitch. And Aston Villa said, "Okay, no, we have to do the deal. We need to supposed to do this." And Brenda, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, he now had to score the goal and gave Aston Villa the win against Arsenal.
Like you mentioned, Chelsea's match against Arsenal was the match everybody expected was going to be tougher for Arsenal. But unfortunately, it was not really, although it was a very big and difficult match for them at the end of the day, even with the red card. But Aston Villa came out firing all cylinders that very day. I mean, Aston Villa, they are doing very well right now. They are in the form of their lives.
Yeah.
I mean, the if you look at their position in the table and them going all the way to beat Arsenal, I mean, beating the most informed team in Europe.
Yeah.
So it's a good one for Aston Villa and Arsenal's former coach in the person of Unai Emery.
Okay.
So he came to he still knows one or two things about Arsenal, and maybe he used it and it worked for him. And it's a good one for Aston Villa.
It really worked for him. It really worked for him and the Aston Villa team, because they did what Chelsea were expected to do. And I think other teams will now use that as a yardstick and say, okay, definitely, if we are able to face off with Arsenal man to man, we're going to do this.
Yes,
okay, now
yes,
Everton had to trash Nottingham Forest at home by 3 goals to 0. CBN. It was a surprising one for me, because I was expecting Nottingham Forest to at least score a goal.
To give a fight.
Yeah.
Everton, they're another team who is performing right now after not so good performance in the early part of the season. So they've improved.
Yeah.
They are doing very, very well right now, and they're picking up points here and there. And I think they are 7th in the table. So it's a good one for them. Nottingham Forest, on the other hand, it's been up and down with Dihawi. I mean, with
Shandike.
There, he's coming, and then he has won one or some few matches, and he has lost some matches that you would expect him to win.
Yes,
but Everton is a team that you are really not going to write off right now, because David Moyes is doing a very fantastic job there at the moment.
Okay. Now looking at Newcastle United, they had to do and they also beat Burnley by 2 goals to 1, and Leslie picking a red card in that game. See there.
Yeah, it was a very bad day for him in the office. So, but Newcastle had to dig deep and got the 3 points, which is positives for them as well, in their quest for European qualification, just like they did last season.
Yeah,
it's not going to be. It's not it's a very different story from their performances last season. But we are still
analyzing and
15 matches in the new season.
Yeah.
So it's still possible for them to come.
Okay. We expected the Giants killers to be able to give City a run of their own money, but I don't know, they run for their money. I don't know, the City had to trash Sunderland by 3 goals to 0 without the reply. It was a surprising one, because I was expecting Sunderland to pull that for the force they did against Chelsea and also Liverpool, but even us now. They do Arsenal. We were surprised that they
they went to City, and all their plans they have used, which have worked for them against big teams in the league this season, they couldn't work out in that game, and Manchester City blew them off. I mean, Haaland was not able to score, but Phil Foden stepped up and had to take it upon himself to make sure they get the whole 3 points.
He scored a brace in that game.
He scored 2 goals and make sure they got the whole 3 points. So it's a good one for Manchester City. I think it has helped their push and in closing Arsenal down. Before that game, there were 5 points adrift of the leaders Arsenal. But after the game, with Arsenal losing against Aston Villa, I think
Yeah.
it was an opportunity for them to
And it
close
was an
the
early
gap.
kickoff, so they had
Yes,
to. It's
exactly.
okay. Since Arsenal can
So
do
the
this,
motivation was
we can be
there.
able to. Yeah,
You
definitely,
understand?
definitely.
When you are 5 points away from the top, and then
They
the person that is leading loses a
lose
match,
the match.
you are going to have that's all the motivation you need,
Need
and you're playing against Sunderland, so they actually work with that
and
and
giving
got
their
yeah
all,
got
and
the three
to make sure
points.
that this is they reduce the points down to two
Yeah, the
points.
pressure is mounting on Arsenal
It's,
now,
it's an
and
Arsenal now.
if you ask me, I think they are
It's
not.
it's a nice competition. Even
Yeah,
looking at look at from the fourth position, thinking on the table to 13th or 15th or 14th. I think the closeness
the
is
gap.
not far. The
Yes,
gap is
the
not that
gap
far,
is not that far. I think.
and it's a nice one.
Yeah, I think there's I think about 10 points or so between first
And
and
then
10th,
10th,
which is not a very
big. Yeah, not to talk
big
about
difference.
no, not to compare what really happened, what used to happen last season or so.
Exactly.
Okay, Tottenham gave us a surprise because we knew that there was a rumor going on that for Thomas Frank might be sacked if he loses against Brentford. But Tottenham boys, the boys dig deep, and I was surprised to see Zavi Simon, scoring a goal and an assist in that particular game, and they had to beat Brentford by 2-0.
Yeah, I think it's a day that we all saw the qualities that Xavi Simons is made of.
Yeah.
Since he came into the Premier League, he has not really been able to perform the way he usually perform, with the flair and the flexibility and the skills and the movement and the pace that he usually saw him perform with in Leipzig. But he in that game against Brentford, he was that player that Tottenham Hotspur paid a lot of money to get to buy, and he scored a wonderful solo goal, which I think will help to boost his confidence and his morale. And again, it helps to save Thomas Frank's job for the moment, at least for now.
Definitely, he did.
The whole pressure, he just lifted a lot of pressure off his shoulder, and it's good for him. We just wish he will be able to continue and build on that, and maybe continue picking up points and winning matches more often.
Okay, looking at Bournemouth drawing at home against Chelsea in this game. Chelsea have been drawing back. Chelsea have not been the Chelsea we knew after Barcelona game. They drew against Arsenal. After drawing against, they lost at least. Now they went to Bournemouth and it was a draw. CBN, what is happening to Chelsea? And then now they're facing informed Everton this weekend. Are you expecting? In fact, not even are you expecting? Let's talk about this Chelsea at the moment. The game they have played. We're not even talking about the Champions League that they lost yesterday. Let's just talk about what the Premier League, the domestic league. What is happening?
Well, it's a very complicated situation, because after seeing how Chelsea were able to blew off Barcelona, and then how they came into the Arsenal's game and went one man down in the early stages, and still had to score Arsenal first, and
before
they equalized, and then the game ended 1-1. With the performance they had in those two games, everybody thought maybe they have arrived. Maybe this is now time for Chelsea to make a statement in the title race, in the Premier League title race.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately, that was not going to be. I think the whole thing started to fall apart with Maresca's decision to field fringe players against Leeds United, and subsequently against Bournemouth. Even though he brought out his best players, it could not work out. I think it's sometimes when you have a winning team, a winning squad, you should be able to use them week in, week out in the Premier League and in Champions League.
Okay.
If you want to bench players, you want to use second team or fringe players, let them come in the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup.
Yeah, definitely.
So if I feel like if Maresca had decided to use his best players against Leeds United, they would have won that match, and probably they would have still beaten Bournemouth. But because he decided to bench these players, it kind of tries to remove that confidence in those key players, because they'll feel like their position is not even assured, no matter how good they perform.
Yeah.
And when players are not even sure if they are going to play the next match after a very good performance in a game, sometimes it tries to start creating doubts within them, and then start to reduce the amount of remove the amount of motivation they have to perform, because there was no reason why they could they would play the way they played against Bournemouth. I
Yeah.
feel like the Maresca decision to make the players not to be sure if they're going to start week in, week out after good performances is it's really affecting the team, and they've been playing very badly. Even when the big boys, even when the first the natural first team players that we know comes in, it's always difficult for them to play, to get the 3 points, to score goals, to win matches, to dominate games these days. But it's a situation that the coach needs to find a way around and sort out.
Okay, looking at Leeds United again, they had to draw, they had to draw Liverpool, at home, drawing Liverpool 3-3. That's why Liverpool taking the lead, and they also, just at that 9 minutes, they had to score and equalize that particular game. Huh? So how did you see that?
Yeah, Leeds United. I think they were very determined in that game to go home with something. Even though Liverpool were going ahead, and I think Liverpool went 2 goals up, they had to come back from behind and equalized. And then Liverpool went again. Szoboszlai scored again,
Yeah,
and Leeds United still came back and still equalized in the dying seconds of the game. Liverpool, they have a lot of issues now. This Mo Salah issue is a very huge one in the club because Mohamed Salah is a big legend in Liverpool. He's one of their best players of all time, and their performances in the pitch again was very bad. And
yeah,
then the on-field situation is still affecting them. So against Leeds United, it was it was a game that everybody thought they had already sorted out after going 2 goals up. But unfortunately, they collapsed, and then their backline. I mean, Konate was very poor in that game.
yeah.
He was very very poor, and they collapsed, and then they allowed Leeds United to get back into the game and got all the equalized all the goals. It's a good one for Leeds United. I mean, they had to play Manchester City, Chelsea, and Liverpool
Yeah,
in a space of 1 week or 2 weeks,
yeah,
and they performed very well in those 3 games. Again, Man City, we all saw what happened. They nearly got the whole they nearly got the equalizer for the Man City last goal. But Man City held on and got the 3 point. But against Chelsea, they blew Chelsea away, and then they came to Liverpool. They played very well, so it's a very good one for them. I think their coach, I think that Daniel Fark is doing a great job in the club right now, and they just need to be consistent with it. And Liverpool, on the other hand, they've not really found the solution to their problem, and piling it up with Musala issue is another worrying situation, because no matter whether we like it or not, the off field situation concerning Mohamed Salah will definitely affect them, because he has those players are his friends. Um, there are some of the players that may not agree with him. There are some of them that might not like the fact that he went public with his feelings. There are some of them that feel like he should have protected the club's image and all that. But then he has friends who might not feel comfortable with the fact that he's been treated unfairly in the club, which he has loved so much and has carried on his shoulders and all that. So it's a very bad one. But I hope Arne Slot finds a solution as soon as possible.
Okay, Brighton drawing at home 1-1 against West Ham United. It was. I think it's a positive one from West Ham. Coming to Brighton and get a draw. And
Yeah,
a point.
yeah, it's a positive one, because they are really fighting tooth and nail to avoid relegation. That's talking about West Ham United. Again, Nuno Espirito Santo is trying so hard to work his way and save the situation for the club, and them getting 1 point. That 1 point is very very vital for any club in the position where Brighton. I think West Ham is 18th now or thereabout,
Yeah.
and 1 point is very very important
Vital,
as it stands now.
Okay, Fulham had to lost at home to Crystal Palace. Like we already said, because you said that Palace is not going to it's not going to be easy for Fulham. After they had also against City, I was expecting them to give it a fight against Crystal Palace, but losing at home also to Palace by 2-1. It was a surprising one for me.
Yeah, well, it's surprising because the Fulham is playing at home, but not really that big of a surprise because Crystal Palace, we all know what they can
They
do.
are doing well.
They
Yes,
are
they are good.
very good
They are
and
good.
they are very coordinated. Um, they are fourth on the table, so it's a sign to show you that something good is happening with them right now.
Definitely.
So for them to go to Fulham and get the 3 points, it's a very good one for them, and it helps their cause this season.
Definitely.
And Fulham, well, they just need to move on and then find a way and start getting points so that they don't find themselves dropping down into the relegation zone.
Okay, finally, what happened on Monday night? Wolves, a sorry Wolves side, losing to Manchester United by 4 goals to 1. CBN, it is a very sorry one for Wolves. Wolves are really going down. Wolves are in trouble as it stands. So Wolves, if they continue this way until maybe January ends, I think it's over for Wolves. They might be the first team to go on relegation as early as possible as the a season, a full season is concerned. CBN.
Yeah, I think it's already safe to say that they will be the first team to be relegated right now. They are
Okay.
last in the table. They just have just from 15 matches. They just have 2 draws,
Yeah.
just 2 points. I think the next person in 19th position has 10 points
Ahead of them.
ahead of them. So it's a very wide gap
Definitely,
already. So it's clear. It's already almost obvious that
That they are
they are
going.
going for relegation and they are going to be the first team to be relegated. I mean, if you watch the Manchester United game, you understand why.
Definitely.
The Manchester United they were not very good in that
as
game.
expected, yeah.
Okay,
But,
because if you watch the game, you just understand that any team that had a little idea of what they are doing would have scored 1 or 2 or 3 goals against
Definitely.
Manchester United. But
Definitely.
somehow it is Wolves who is now so confused and so disorganized. I don't know if it is the caliber of players they have, or maybe the coach they have is not being able to um, um, tell
Work things
them
out.
the
At
right
least,
things to do or
but
how to
it
organize
was
themselves.
a difficult one because working at the Wolves are lost. They are confused.
Definitely,
When you
definitely,
see a team, you see that the team don't have any identity.
exactly.
They play like it's just amateur teams who are just finding their feet, in a but as it stands, I don't think even United, despite like you said, United you are poor
They were
because if
very
you look
poor.
at United, you see that they were probably very poor. Even though the Wolves score got against them, you see that yes, they're
Exactly.
supposed to defend that game. Well, if United was good, if it was a very good side, United wouldn't have gotten 3 points in that game,
Exactly.
but. It happens, and the Wolves. He says, "I'm just so sorry for them because I pity them at the moment because I don't know how what they are going to go from here,
I
going
don't know.
forward.
Can we even say that is it because of the number of players they lost in the summer?
How many
Because
players they
it's not
lose? They
like
lose.
it's not like they lost a
They
lot of
lost
players.
Kunha to Man United. Also, they are left back to City. I think if we were to call this, you saw these guys in a huge amount of money.
Yeah,
You're supposed to get players who are supposed to
and
replace them.
reinvest the
Yes, you
money
replace,
properly.
get players who will replace these guys because you are losing. Okay, imagine a player like Kunha getting 15 goals in a season. You should get a player who is expected to get such a number of goals. If not, see, there's no way. And this is what is backfiring them.
They signed our own Aroko Dare.
Arokadere is not doing anything. Even okay, Arokadere coming in on second half, deep time on second half. It will not show you that he's not.
He's too slow for Premier
So
League.
that is it. I don't
He's
think
too slow for the Premier
the
League.
pace of the Premier League and also the intensity of it is not fitted for Arekodore. And I think he will leave Wolves after this season. I think he's going to leave Wolves.
He's too slow for the Premier League.
So let's see how it goes. Viewers, this will end the reaction of fans. The last Premier League is concerned last weekend. What really played out there, and we saw many teams being blown away, and also Chelsea, going down the drain at the moment because as far as the league is concerned, Chelsea are really not performing well as expected. After fighting against Arsenal, losing at Leeds and also losing drawing at Bournemouth. Now they'll be hosting Everton this weekend, and we will see how that goes in our next episode. Thank you for staying with us, and we'll be back and we'll keep you posted.